Me and a couple of my friends were just goofing around, and I took a pregnancy test, and I didn't think nothing of it. I went back to my room, we were all hanging out, and we're like, okay, it's time, let's go look at it. And I flipped the test over, and it was positive. It was unexpected, to say the least. I was 15 years old when I found out I was pregnant. And when I took a test, I didn't even think I was pregnant. We were like, let's just take them, see why not. We're like, okay, because we were all young girls. We didn't have regular menstrual cycles, nothing was normal. And I thought that it was a joke. I was like, okay, all right, nope. Like, who's playing a trick on me? Like, who switched the tests? And my friends were like, we didn't do anything. I didn't know what to do. I looked up Planned Parenthood, and then the first thing that popped up was option 1. And I was like, okay, us girls decided in the morning we're gonna go in and see if they can take a test to prove or if it was a joke, because I was still convinced that it was a joke. So the next morning, we snuck out of the house and we came to Brookings and walked into option 1, and I was scared.
So I met Hailey in December over Christmas break. And when I first saw her, she just had that look of burden on her face. She just looked scared and overwhelmed.
Honestly, I had no clue what to expect. I was like, I would walk in and I'd probably be shamed or felt embarrassed. And that was the complete opposite.
I kind of asked her what her situation was, why is she here? And she informed me that she had taken 2 pregnancy tests at home.
And I was like, I think I'm pregnant. And the girls there said,
okay, that's what we're here for. We're gonna get you some answers and we're gonna get you some help.
It's okay, like, let's take a test, to confirm it, let's see.
So the next question was, if your pregnancy test comes back positive, what are you thinking you're gonna do about it? And she looked at me straight in the eyes, and I remember our eye contact and how it was so courageous of her. She looked at me right in my eyes and she said, well, I don't believe in abortion, so I guess I'm gonna be a mom. And she said it just like that. And it was this apprehensive but bold statement all at the same time. She was so sure, but she was so scared all at the same time. And I just remember being so in awe of a 15-year-old girl making that stand on her own.
From there on, we just sat down and we talked. I told her what happened and how I got to that point, and my life kind of changed forever at that point. I was very unsure of what to do. I knew I had 3 options. That was what I had to choose. It was those 3 options, and that was gonna change the rest of my life. And that was very scary to think about when I was 15, because before then, I didn't even know what I was gonna do the next weekend. I did not think about what the rest of my life was gonna look like. And so coming up with those 3 options, option 1 definitely helped me look and understand and feel accepted for choosing whatever option I wanted to.
This year at option 1, we've moved into a new method. We call it the focus method. We know that when women come to us, they're specifically looking for pregnancy options. Most of the time, they're looking for abortion information. So that's what we want to give them. Focus gives us a very timely and structured way to meet those demands for her. She came to us with a very specific need, and we want to be respectful of her. We want to meet that need for her. So when she comes in, she sits with an advocate, we fill out some paperwork, and then we do lay out all 3 of her options for her: parenting, adoption, and abortion, because those are her 3 options, and we want to be true and honest with her. Once she's done with that, then she'll come in and she'll do a pregnancy test with one of our nurses. And then if the nurse deems it appropriate, she will go and move into an ultrasound where we will be able to determine the viability of her pregnancy as well as gestational age. That gives us more information on how to specifically talk to her about risks and procedures if she were to go on and end up getting an abortion.
And seeing that, and always wanting to be a mom, that kind of persuaded the abortion aspect of it out. I knew I couldn't go through that. I knew I could do this. So I left it up to being whether or not I kept the baby or put the baby up for adoption.
So she and I, after we had a little conversation, we went and did her pregnancy test, and sure enough, it came back positive. So we looked at her options as far as how are we going to tell the people in her life, and what do we think that their responses are going to be? Because I wanted to empower her. One of the hardest parts about being unexpectedly pregnant is telling someone that you're unexpectedly pregnant. And she told me that the person that she was the most apprehensive to tell was her dad.
I was worried for my dad.
And I asked her why, and she said, well, because he's going to be just so mad at me.
I'm his baby girl, I'm his only daughter, so I knew that was probably going to break his heart.
And I said, Hailey, I don't think he might seem mad, but I think deep down that anger is really just he's feeling overwhelmed too. But I think with time, I think he'll come around. And so you're doing the right thing.
It took me a while. When I told my dad, he was really upset. He left the room and he took a while to process everything. And that right there scared me into thinking, okay, maybe I put this baby up for adoption. And then I can go back on to living a normal teenage life.
On the outside, we see Hailey as this confident 15-year-old who found herself in an unplanned pregnancy. And she said with confidence, well, I guess I'm gonna be a mom. But there was in that tone, that underlying kind of like, oh my goodness, what is actually happening to me? And we know that no matter what a woman says, no matter how for life she is when she's in here, the reality is that let's say that Hailey would have had that conversation with her dad, and he would have been just absolutely pressuring her to abort. The reality is that she could have changed her mind in a snap of a finger, and she could have been at the abortion clinic.
As soon as we scheduled our first ultrasound, we insisted that he should come with. I was so scared walking into that appointment, but I had both my parents there with me, and even though my dad didn't totally approve, he still wanted the best for me. And so as soon as they put the monitor on my belly and we saw that baby move, all three of us were in tears. And that was the first time I've ever seen my dad cry, was the moment that he saw his grandchild. And from that moment on, he changed, and he knew that this baby was ours and wanted me to go through with my idea of wanting to keep her. The day I had Piper, it was so surreal. I still couldn't believe that I was having a baby. I don't even know where I would be if I didn't go into option 1. Before then, I was young, naive, and going down the path that I shouldn't have been going down. Because I became pregnant, I did a whole 360 on my life. I changed everything around, and I grew up. If I didn't have Laura or the other ladies there, I would have been completely in the dark with how to go about it.